In Brazil, sadly, another record-setting day with Covid-19 running wild and the country's healthcare system collapsing under the weight of the pandemic. More than 100,000 Covid-19 cases were recorded on Thursday alone, exacerbating an already dire situation. Intensive care units are facing critical shortages, from oxygen to medicines necessary to intubate severe cases. And we're now learning Brazil's private hospitals could run out of other medicines used to treat Covid-19 patients in just a matter of days. CNN's Matt Rivers joins us now from Sao Paulo. Matt, it certainly is heartbreaking day after day, and what you're seeing there now, not only intensive care units just completely full, but oxygen running out.
Yeah, you know, Lynda, we've been here now in Brazil reporting for a little over 2 weeks, and when we first got here 2 weeks ago, I think the system was beginning to collapse. I think now, 2 weeks later, in many places across this country, the healthcare system has collapsed. There's no other way to describe that. You mentioned the amount of cases that were recorded yesterday, the single highest number in a single day since this pandemic began. The Private Hospital Association here in Brazil say they're going to run out of anesthetics used to treat Covid-19 patients within the next 3 or 4 days. The signs just keep mounting. And I want to show our viewers a couple of clips here. I want to start with a clip of some ambulances. This was footage given to us by a source here in Brazil. And what you can see is there are 12 ambulances waiting outside of a hospital in Sao Paulo, all of them with patients inside. They are waiting because the hospital will not accept patients, and this is happening all across this city. Ambulances respond to calls. They have nowhere to go. If hospitals aren't accepting patients, that means the system has collapsed. I want to show you another clip from inside of a hospital in the Federal District here in Brazil, where the federal government is. In this video, you can see an oxygen tube that is literally being run from one window across an open courtyard into another room. The reason that's happening is because on the other side, that's where the oxygen source is. But there are so many patients in the room where the oxygen is that they can't fit any more patients in there, so they have to put patients in another hallway. The only way they can get oxygen from the source to the patient is by running oxygen tubes out of windows. That is the kind of thing that is happening all across this country right now. ICU occupancy rates in nearly every single Brazilian state are at or above 80%. Many of them have simply collapsed. This has been the trend over the past few weeks, Lynda. And unfortunately, you talk to people here in Brazil, no one really believes we've hit the peak yet in this country. In other words, the worst days of this pandemic could be yet to come.
It is a horrifying prospect, and right now you're seeing many more young people succumb to this virus than we have in the past.
Yeah, you know, that's the other trend that we've been hearing. And this goes all the way back to the first reporting trip that we did this year in Brazil back in January when we were in the Amazonian city of Manaus. And back then we were hearing from an ICU doctor who said the difference at this wave compared to last year is that we're seeing more young people in the ICUs getting severely sick. They don't have comorbidities. They don't have, other issues that might exacerbate COVID. They're otherwise healthy, and yet they're getting sicker and they're dying more. That is something we've heard in Manaus, when we've spoken to doctors in Rio de Janeiro, in Sao Paulo, all across the country. It's the same kind of anecdotal story being told. And what we're hearing from health officials is that the ICU data does back that up. There are more young people ages 50 and below that have severe illness than before. There's a lot of theories about why that is, ranging from a variant here called P1 that's more transmissible to the fact that younger people are simply exposing themselves more to this virus. But whatever the reason, no one is being spared right now in Brazil. The numbers are so high, and really, whether you're young or you're old, it doesn't really seem to matter at this moment.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. Matt Rivers, always good to get your reporting, to get that perspective on the ground. Thank you very much. We will be watching out for your report later today. Thank you. We are going to stay on the story in Brazil because There is obviously concern that what's happening in Brazil will spill beyond its borders, becoming more of an international threat. The World Health Organization says the P1 variant, first identified in Brazil, has now spread to at least 41 countries. Epidemiologist Eric Feigl-Ding warns the world has not awoken to the dire potential reality the P1 variant could represent, and says we must help Brazil contain it or risk suffering the same fate. Well, Dr. Eric Feigl-Ding joins us now from Washington. Firstly, just give us your take on what we are seeing unfold in Brazil, a country that dismissed this COVID pandemic from the very beginning under its leadership, under the president, who called this the little flu, and we are now seeing it run rampant there.
Yeah, it's very worrisome, and I agree with Matt Rivers' reporting there. Brazil is under siege. Its mortality has exceeded 300,000 deaths from COVID. That's been identified so far. And Brazil's current trend is that the current per capita deaths has actually exceeded the highest per capita death that even the U.S. saw during its peak. And the worst is still yet to come. This virus, if it's not contained, poses a national and global security threat, not just in terms of starting a new pandemic, because this one is not only more transmissible than the old one, also possibly more transmissible than even the British B117 variant as well, because it's 2 to 2.5 times more transmissible. But it also reinfection risk, and it also poses risk to collapsing Brazil's economy, which as a major country can also hugely impact other economies. And finally, the third risk is that if an unchecked pandemic can be completely ignored by authoritarians like Bolsonaro, it poses huge risk that other authoritarians will try to use the same playbook to ignore and dismiss the suffering of thousands and thousands of people. And all three poses huge risks to the world.
If you could break it down for us in layman's terms about how these variants come about, how the COVID-19 strain mutates.
So the mutation is a combination of reasons. Mostly, the more people it can infect, the more playground opportunities it can use to develop a bad mutation. And especially if it finds someone who is elderly or immunocompromised, and then the virus can replicate inside of their immunocompromised body for a longer time, it is the perfect storm. And many Harvard studies have shown that it's these kind of situations where the virus floats in more people and longer in each person that has the potential to mutate. And I always remind people, a virus can't mutate if it can't replicate. And this is why containing the virus is so important. But right now, Brazil doesn't even have enough vaccines. It didn't even order 138 million vaccines until last week when ICUs were at 90-95% capacity. That is not staying ahead of the virus. And that's why Brazil right now is in a world of trouble, because the vaccines are not coming for many months.
And Eric, that mutant strain we are seeing that is more contagious and lethal than the original is now spreading. It's now invading regional countries around Brazil, right?
Right. It's also infected into Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, and Paraguay and Uruguay are seeing record high ICUs as well. Uruguay is one of the wealthiest countries in South America. They're also not containing it. Paraguay, ICUs are maxed out. They're out of oxygen. Chile has one of the highest vaccination rates in the world. And Santiago, Chile is still seeing a surge and in a lockdown because of this. Meanwhile, Brazil, there's no lockdown. And I want to even point out, in British Columbia, Canada, you think furthest place there is from Brazil, it has one of the largest outbreaks and pockets of P1. There's more P1 per day in British Columbia, Canada, than all of the U.S. combined cumulatively. And that's just really scary. So this P1 variant that's very highly contagious is already parts of the world, and we have to wake up to this and stop it and send aid to Brazil now.
And just quickly, researchers have found that some people infected with COVID-19 are infected with at least 2 strains in Brazil. What sort of challenge does that pose for scientists trying to come up with vaccinations?
Well, the vaccinations do work. They work against B117 as well. It does still likely work for the P1. But the problem is if it's co-infected of two strains in the same person, that actually adds opportunities for recombination, which is the other mutation method in which viruses swap material within each other and can create hypermutated strains and variants. This is why the more we let this virus circulate, the more problematic variants we'll see. We cannot play this whack-a-mole yo-yoing situation. We have to unify as a world to stop these pandemics, because if we hoard vaccines in one country and not release enough to help others, it will come back to bite us here in America as well.
Dr. Eric Feigl-Ding, good to get your perspective on all of this. As we've heard so often, no country is safe unless all countries are safe. Good to have you on. Thank you.